Welcome everyone to the location and fight guide for Mairwyn the Elementalist. The boss can be found in the Emberleaf Grove, as shown on the map with the blue marking. For this boss fight I used the Dark Silver Sword, Pendant of the Duskwatcher and the Dawnthorn armor set. I also used the Blood Rage, Power Surge, Veil of Chaos and Crimson Beam abilities. I would also recommend to use a Fire Resistance Brew, as this boss has two very strong fire abilities. This boss has 8 main key points. The boss will summon a fire tornado that will shoot out fire projectiles from 4 sides at the same time. When hit by the fire tornado, you will receive a decent amount of damage every half a second and also receiving a fire dot for about 3 seconds. And when hit by a fire projectile, you will also receive a decent amount of damage and a fire dot for about 3 seconds. Try to move away from the tornado and try to dodge the fire projectiles. The boss will fire 3 frost projectiles in a row. When hit, each projectile will do a decent amount of damage and chill you for about 4 seconds. Try to sidestep these. The boss will also fire a large frost projectile. When hit, this will deal a large amount of damage and freeze you for about 2 seconds. When hit, this projectile will also split into 6 smaller projectiles. When hit, you will receive a decent amount of damage and get chilled for about 4 seconds. Try to sidestep this projectile. The boss will also put an electric charge on you, followed by summoning 5 electric orbs in a row that will move towards your direction. When hit, each orb will deal a decent amount of damage and stun you for about 1 second. Try to sidestep these orbs. When the boss starts casting an air tornado around her, shortly after an air circle will move outwards. When inside of this circle, when it goes off, you will receive a decent amount of damage and be thrown into the air, floating outwards for about 4 seconds. Try to move or dash away from the boss to avoid this damage. When in melee range of the boss will also sometimes try to teleport away from you. The boss will also summon a copy of herself, with the same percentage of health the boss currently has. However, the copy does have less total health than the boss. Both the boss and the copy will then start casting 3 Chaos Orbs at the same time. When hit, each Chaos Orb will deal a decent amount of damage and stun you for about 1 second. Try to sidestep these orbs. Also, I would recommend trying to kill the copy first. You can spot this copy as the copy will only cast Chaos Orbs, while the boss will return casting her previous abilities. The boss will also freeze herself for about 25 seconds, followed by summoning a large fire orb that will try to follow you around. This fire orb will also shoot out smaller fire projectiles. When standing next to the boss when she freezes herself, you will also receive a decent amount of damage and get frozen for about 1 second. When hit by the large orb, you will receive a decent amount of damage every second you're inside of this orb. You will also receive a burn for about 3 seconds. When hit by a fire projectile, you will also receive a decent amount of damage and a burn for about 3 seconds. During this phase, you can either try to destroy the freeze shield or focus on dodging the large fire orb. Personally, I would recommend dodging the large fire orb to prevent taking an extreme amount of damage or death. After killing this boss, you will gain a tier 2 Storm spell point that you can spend on a tier 2 Storm ability of your choosing in the Storm ability tab. You can now also craft Holy Resistance Flasks at the Alchemy table. This flask will give you 75 Holy Resistance for 60 minutes, giving you a 37.5% reduced damage from Holy attacks and also allowing you to negate 15 damage from Holy Radiation. And finally, you can now also craft tier 3 jewels at the jewel crafting table to enhance your abilities. Keep in mind, however, that each craft comes with random stats. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you want to see some live content or have any questions about the game, you can always come and visit me at twitch.tv/Jiraku. Thank you again very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. you.